someone would like to take away, we'll go first to the Associated Press, let them lead off, and then from there, if you all would just like to take it away on your own, feel free.
Hey Dabo, it's Pete. I hope you and your family have been okay through all this. What was it like out there today? Was it just like always? Did it seem really familiar to finally get these guys back and at practice?
Oh my goodness, it was certainly we've never had football practice with the type of protocols that we have in place, but absolutely, once we get on the field, I mean, it was awesome, and so just a blessing to be able to get back and unbelievable energy and excitement by everyone to get back, and really proud of our guys. Amazing summer. Obviously it's been incredibly challenging for everyone since March, and especially for our players with limited access to weights and things like that, and facilities shut down. But I tell you, these guys just like I thought. I mean, their commitment really has shined through, because the great majority of our guys are in great shape. They've worked really hard. Their body weights are where they need to be, and a hot day like this, to see them on the first day was awesome. But the tempo was good. Again, the energy was great. Opening day, and listen, as I told them at the end of practice, tomorrow is not day 2; it's day 1 as well. Every day is day 1. Every day is opening day, and that has to be the mindset that we have to have, and just truly, make the most of every single day that we get.
Hey, Coach, this is David Hood with TigerNet.com. Have you had any players decide that they would prefer to opt out for
I see you. There you go. Is that live? I guess it's live. No, we've not had any.
They don't want to play.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. No, we've not had.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, we've not had any of that. In fact, I told our team back in June, really before any of this stuff kind of became a thing, I told our guys back in June. In fact, I actually called a team meeting just for that purpose. I told every single one and the staff, listen, nobody has to be here. Nobody has to come back. This is before we came back for mandatory workouts and stuff. I wanted everybody to know, your scholarships are good. No, I don't want anybody fearful. No one needs to worry about your scholarship or your job, any of that stuff. Okay. So, we addressed that way back in June, and, we've not had any of that. Tomorrow could bring something different. Who knows? As we've learned, anything can change in a day. But we've not had any of that. Our guys are all here excited about, rocking and rolling. We do have one guy that's obviously would be a big news story, and that's Xavier Thomas. He hasn't opted out. We are actually holding him out for medical reasons. He practiced in the day, but really treating him, like an injury. X has probably had more on him than anybody since March. I mean, he was having a great spring, super excited about this season, and really had a lot of goals about what he wanted to do this summer to really ready himself for a big year. We leave in March for spring break, and obviously the whole world gets shut down, facilities get shut down, and then he gets COVID, and it's not something I'm gonna, but I have permission to say that he got COVID, and had to quarantine and all that, and then we had nowhere to work out, and then he got strep throat just when we were getting ready to go. He gets strep throat, so he's out again, and probably picked up 10 or 12 pounds during the whole quarantine thing, and again not able to do what he needs to do, and which put him in a bad place mentally as well. But then we get back going with our mandatory stuff, and it was pretty obvious early on that, man, he's just nowhere near where he needs to be to play football. And the number one thing is for these guys to be healthy. And the last thing we want to do is for X to try to go and be, half of his potential. And So I'm really proud of X. A lot of maturity on his part, and a lot of self-awareness, on his part, to just say, you know what, and we recognize he's not where he needs to be as well. And so our plan with him is really what we did with James Skowski right now. First of all, we got him in yellow, and we got to get him medically where he needs to be. He's had a hard time when we got back with his breathing, and just, again, that's a combination of COVID, his strep throat, being a little heavy. And so our medical staff has a great plan for him. And the plan is, and I'm excited about it. We always make our own plans, but sometimes there's a different plan. And but he's excited about it as well. We're going to get him back ready to go from a health standpoint. And, he's going to take a timeout and get himself where he needs to be mentally as well. And just continue to be engaged, be ready. Just like we did with Skowski. Skowski was working back from his foot. And then we were like, you know what? If we could hold him, play him in 4 games, save a year. And that's kind of where we are with X, because he really lost from March to now and was not able to do what he wanted to do and needed to do to get himself, ready to go. So, but he's really embraced, his role. It's awesome to see him out here really supporting his guys and coaching his guys, and the guys stepping up for him. And hopefully he's ready to go and can come back and play 4 games. If you remember Skowski, we were able to hold him, and I think he played in the maybe the ACC championship, the playoff, and the national championship that year. And it worked out to be a real blessing for him. I'm really glad that happened. Same thing with Cornell. We were able to redshirt Cornell, and really glad that worked out that he's here. So, but super proud of X. He's going to graduate in December. He's a brilliant young man. He's graduating in 3 years. But this is, I think, going to be a blessing for him in the long run, and allow him to really just kind of reset and get himself back where he needs to be. And again, hopefully be able to play a few games as well.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah,
Trevor
this
Groves.
is Matt.
Okay, can you hear me, Coach?
Yes, sir.
Trevor Groves, CUTigers.com. Good to see you again. Just want to get your thoughts on, not playing South Carolina this season. Obviously, that's one of your 5 team goals, to win the state championship every year. And after 111 straight years, not playing the Gamecocks.
Well, disappointed. I'm sure the same as everybody. It's kind of crazy, to be honest with you, to think that, we're going to go all the way to Notre Dame, or they're going to go to Texas or wherever, Mississippi, wherever, to play. But, we can't meet each other. We'll go an hour and 15, you go an hour and 15, and let's play a game. It's kind of crazy that's where we are. But, that's those are decisions that, Will and I don't make, and I know Will would love to be able to play as well. But that's just kind of, where we are. So certainly disappointed, but not anything I can control. And we just have to, focus on, what we do control.
Well, this is Matt. Just to clarify, so Xavier's, the plan is to redshirt him for this year?
Yes, that is our plan. And try to get the 4 games and try to get his year back and get him to January, where he can really, like I said, he was really off to a great start and really doing what he wanted to do. And then literally from March to July, he just and then when he did get back going in mandatory in July, he just realized that he just wasn't where he needed to be. And so, hey, this is a great plan and a great option for him. And I'm excited. Our job, like I said, is to support these guys in every way possible, and certainly wish we'd have. Xavier Thomas, he's about as good as it gets, but we wouldn't want him to be out there and not be able to be the best version of himself. He's got a bright future, and we want to help him maximize that.
What kind of toll did it take on him with the COVID, if you could share some details of that?
No, well, I'm not going to get into all the details of all that stuff. He did pretty good. But then, like I said, quarantining, then getting strep throat, and then again, not having access to some of the resources just kind of took a toll. And then when we did really get going, just combination again, a little heavier than he normally is as well. So, but our medical team, they've done a great job, and he's in a good place as far as what he wants to do, and we're going to support that.
Hey, Dabo, David Hale with ESPN. First of all, glad to get to see into all of our offices and living rooms now. This is a nice touch. One quick question on clarity here. The redshirt rule, was it not based on a percentage of games, and does playing less games affect how many they could play? Like, it's definitely still 4?
Yeah, it's 4 games.
Okay. So
they put that in last year. In fact, they actually have talked about upping it to 6 this year, but I don't think that's gone through.
Did you have any other guys who have had lingering symptoms because of being infected? Is there anybody else whose workouts and stuff were dramatically altered because of having COVID and the breathing?
We've been really fortunate. The great majority of our guys were asymptomatic, and so we've been really fortunate. We had 2 or 3 guys that had some symptoms. And a couple guys that might have lingered for a little longer than others, but we've been really fortunate. The majority of our guys have been able to again get back to their normal stuff within the warranted time.
And would you say that as you guys are kind of opening up camp, I know this is obviously going to be much different than it would be any other year, but physically, are guys kind of about where you would expect them to be at this point, or did the time away have an impact?
Yeah, I don't know if you were on in the beginning here, but that was one of the things I opened up with. I'm blown away by these guys. And I felt that since probably April. We were in a pretty good place in March, and it was like, okay, a couple weeks, when nobody really knew. And then when we realized, all right, this is how we're going to have to operate. First of all, our strength staff, unbelievable job. Joey Batson and Greenlee and Hogan and Smo, they did an amazing job in trying to help our guys with whatever they had, do what they need to do. And but you know what? You can do all that you want. It still comes back to the personal commitment. And one of the reasons we've been so successful is we have a lot of guys, and the culture of our program, it's all about commitment. And these guys are driven. They're motivated. They're self-motivated. And so, yeah, I was blown away. Our guys have come back in really good shape. We've had a bunch of guys who set personal records. We've had a lot of PR set in the weight room. But, seeing them run, I've been Jackson Carman, here's a big guy that had a lot of quarantine, and he looks better than he's ever looked. I'm so proud of a guy like that. But that goes back to the culture of this place, to just the buy-in that we have from strength conditioning to nutrition, to, again, eating the right things, just fueling your body properly, getting the right sleep. So our guys, as I say all the time, what you do in the dark comes to light. And we got back out here today in the light, and this was an impressive looking team. Really proud of them. And we had normal practice as far as, we went 20 periods. It's hot, high tempo. These guys did a great job.
Dabo, this is Gene Dabo, this is Gene Sapikoff. You were so confident in the spring that everything was going to be okay early in the virus. What's your level of confidence now that we're going to have an 11-game football season?
Well, I think I was just probably very optimistic, as I try to always be. I'm always a half full guy, Gene, always. And, maybe that's a fault, but that's never going to change for me. And again, so I'm thankful that we had a great day today, and just hopeful we get another day tomorrow. I'm not worried about an 11-game season. I'm just worried about having a great day tomorrow. And, that's really the only thing I'm focused on. And I'm very, hopeful that we're going, and optimistic that we're going to, be able to find a way to play and do it in a, most importantly, a safe way for everyone. But, again, it's a best of one mentality. We're not guaranteed anything. So, we just got to find a way to win the day tomorrow.
One more thing. What did you think of the Pac-10 players and the Big Ten players expressing their, concerns and demands and so forth? And would you be okay with your players, voicing concerns and demands on social media?
Our players, I'm always okay with our players. Our players have had a voice. That's probably the first thing I did was give our players a voice and empower them to help be a huge part of our program. We've done that from the first time I became coach. And but as far as specific things that was out there, I mean, I saw a little bit of it. What I did see was most of it to me was pretty common sense and some reasonable things. I mean, even like the 6-year guarantee. Those are things we've been doing around here for forever. I mean, I've had 50-year-olds come back to Clemson and graduate. So we're way more committed to 6 years to our guys and getting their degrees, and have been for a long time. So there are some great things, and I think you talked about some of the revenue stuff. I've always been for these guys getting some type of lump sum. I've just always wanted to tie it to graduation, and always good. When you have good conversation, and but as far as my guys, man, they always have had a voice.
Hey, Dabo, Josh from the Post and Courier here. I was wondering how players' voices have been incorporated, this summer as we sort of go back into things, how their voices have been incorporated in terms of moving forward with camp.
Same way it's always been. Again, as I just said, I mean, we have layers of communication, always have, from our leadership group to the Swinney Huddle, Swinney Council, Paul Journey ambassadors. Our leadership group selects guys to be. We have tons of communication, and again, that's one of the core reasons that we've been so successful and consistent for a long time. Is because when you have great communication, you have trust and respect, and everybody knows what our vision and common purpose here is, what we're trying to do, and that leads to appreciation. We have a great appreciation for each other and everybody's role, and we always have. But as far as getting ready for camp, we've tried to make it as normal as we can. But our guys have always been a part of it. They're a part of our. I always consult with them. I do a 13-month calendar every year, and we always communicate that to the players. So no different from that regard.
Hey, Dabo, this is Grace from The Athletic. I wanted to piggyback off of Gene's question real fast. I'm sure you've seen name, image, and likeness kind of being an ongoing conversation this summer. I was curious, how do you see Clemson specifically supporting these kids with NIL, and is that something that you think will become, I guess, part of the recruiting pitch?
Well, we're going to support our guys just like we always have, with the best possible resources that are out there. We've always done that, whether it be nutrition, strength conditioning, coaching, academics, our Paul Journey, everything that we can do within the rules. We've always been committed to doing that, and then trying to keep getting better. So that would be no different. And it's exciting, because hopefully there can be some, as I've always said, modernization of the scholarship. There's been incredible improvements. I've got a good perspective. I started in 1988, as a walk-on Pell Grant player with student loans to go on top. And I've also been a scholarship player, and I've been a GA, and I've been an assistant. I've been doing this since, I guess, my 31st year in college football. So I've got a great perspective from really every lens that you can have in this great game. I think there's a lot of unknown right now, but I think there could be some positives that come from it that would be great for the players. And so we've already hired a company called Open Doors, which is, they're kind of the Nike of that world, if you will. So we're well positioned to not just meet the needs, but to lead in whatever comes down the road, from that standpoint. And again, but for me, the big thing is what is some type of national standard? What are the rules, and how does that apply, evenly to everyone? We'll see.
is Open Doors, I guess, something that y'all have already had ongoing conversations with them about?
Yeah, we actually have had a relationship with them for quite a while. In fact, I think we were the first school, ACC or SEC, to have this relationship that we have. And so they do a lot of things, and they've been great already. But you know, if some things change and things open up a little bit, that would be good for our players. You know, again, that's what they do, and we're very well positioned to be able to hit the ground running and you know, make it the best we possibly can.
Dabo, do you have an update on Justyn Ross after his surgery?
I do have an update. Unbelievable, amazing. Watching him out here today, running up and down the field. I mean, I tell you, I've spent a lot of time in prayer for that young man, and I'm just so thankful to be able to see him where he is. And you know, Coach Greenlee's that's kind of his. Coach Greenlee was with Mike Williams every day, and so he's got a pretty good resume as far as the type of rehab that's ahead for Justyn. Different injuries, but the same type of, you know, just sensitivity and care, and just, I mean, unbelievable precaution in what you have to do. But I tell you, the doctor up in Pittsburgh, Dr. Okonkwo, and I actually flew up to Pittsburgh when he had his surgery and got a chance to meet with the doctor. I mean, he's amazing. And I mean, it's just mind blowing that that we have doctors out there that can you know, do the things that they do. So Justyn has done awesome. You know, the first thing was, you know, a 6-week checkup. That was like the first big hurdle. And it was really great report. In fact, the doctor really felt like he was very much ahead of where he could have hoped for. So that really put a lot of wind in Justyn's sails. And then, you know, so now you know, we'll get another checkup here in another 6 weeks, and then come December, that will be another big one where he'll have to actually go back up there and do some metric type stuff. But you know, he's doing great. Looks great, and you know, just like I said, he doesn't feel anything. I mean, he feels normal, but the doctor said that a lot of times older people do better than the younger people, because younger people, they may feel good and they have a tendency to overdo things. So the biggest thing is just kind of saying whoa to Justyn and having him really buy into you know, just what he needs to do, and don't do anything more than that, because that's his natural, you know, inclination, and he feels normal. So he's doing really, really well. And again, right now he's been released to run. He's doing some very, very light lifting and some things like that. So he's doing well. But it was fun for me to be out here today, practice going on. He's obviously in a yellow shirt, but watching him, you know, work with Greenlee and watching him, you know, run the sidelines brings a smile to your face. And just hopeful and prayerful that he can continue to have that type of progress.
Hey, Coach, we had a lightning storm, so I missed the beginning. Did you address Ladson and Ngata and how those guys look, kind of piggybacking off of Matt's question?
Yeah, both of those guys were not able to practice today due to, you know, protocols, you know, that we have going on. But hopefully they'll be back here soon.
Thank you.
But they've looked great this summer. In fact, Frank was like 208. So he's picked up, I don't know, maybe 15 plus 20, almost 20 pounds since he first got here. And then, man, Joseph he's had an unbelievable summer, and looks amazing. And again, hopefully those guys they're in our protocol right now. Hopefully both of them, they're roommates. So hopefully they'll be back here sooner than later.
Coach,
Yeah, but what do you think about Notre Dame getting the chance to play for an ACC title?
Well, I think it's great. You know, I think that you know, it's great for them to you know, to sign up. I mean, I think it's a win for everybody. Obviously, Notre Dame is incredible program and such rich history and a great brand. And, you know, for them to be all in, if you will, I think is good for them and certainly good for our league. And you know, that's just where we are. So, you know, we're just all playing the hand that we're dealt. And it's going to be an exciting and interesting season. And with, you know, new people on our schedule that we hadn't planned for, blow the schedule up and you know, so, but hey, that's a great challenge that we look forward to.
Coach Trevor, again, you compared DeMarcus Bowman with CJ Spiller. After seeing him in person today, are you still that impressed with his speed? And what were your first impressions of those other freshmen that just arrived on campus?
Yeah, well, he didn't get slow between May and now. That's for sure. He looks great. You know, just the first day out here, but he's in great shape. He's thicker than I thought he might be at this point. He's worked really, really hard. The weight room's been good for him. He put in a lot of work before he got here. He spent a lot of time on the track, you know, on his own too. I mean, he's as advertised. I mean, he is a fast dude, and can't wait to see us once we get the pads on and see how he picks things up.
Hey, Dabo, Bob Schuster here. Just to piggyback off of Pete's question, are you a little disappointed that maybe the ACC wouldn't open up with Clemson versus Notre Dame? And can you talk about your schedule in general? And when may we know about the non-conference schedule, if you know, or when we might know? With it.
I'm not disappointed with anything in regards to what they did schedule-wise because, man, I'm just thankful we got a schedule. I mean, my mentality's always been we'll play to spot the ball. My job is to get us ready. I'm disappointed that we weren't able to play South Carolina because I know how important that is to both fan bases. That's a disappointment, but it's just, like I said, something Will and I have no control over. So all we can do is get our teams ready and you know, do the best we can. But as far as what the league did, I thought the league has done I think our league has done a great job. And you know, I've been on a jillion calls since March and on committees and subcommittees and all that stuff. And I'm real thankful for just having the opportunity. So I'm a long way from disappointed. I'm thankful that we just have the opportunity to you know, have some goals to look forward to and to prepare for and God willing be able to go play.
Hey, Coach, it's David Hood again. In regards to XT, do you feel like you have the numbers out there at defensive end that was, you know, also part of it, that, you know, yeah, we can hold him because we've got some younger guys that we
well, I do. I feel
and finally have some depth out on the edge.
Yeah, I do feel good about that. But even if we didn't have that, you know, this is what's best for X. And, you know,
Gotcha.
None of that matters. You know, we're not going to sacrifice what's best for him, you know, in this situation, just because maybe we wouldn't have the certain depth. I mean, you know, he's just not anywhere near where he needs to be. And this is an elite player. And, you know, the last thing he wants to do, and the last thing I want him to do is to not be able to be the best version of himself. And so again, this is a blessing. And I think it'll prove to be that. Again, it's just fun to see guys mature and grow. I mean, he's only 20. He's 20. He's just a baby. And I mean, I know he looks like, you know, he's 30 and could fit in any NFL locker room, you know, just on the hoof. But he's 20 years old and he's got his whole future in front of him. And we want to help him maximize that. And this is definitely the best thing, you know, and anything could change. But right now, he's just not where he needs to be. And so we're not even worried about that depth and all that stuff. Hey, next guy's got to be ready. And that's just what we're all dealing with right now. But we've got some great young men. I mean, Justin Foster and KJ, you know, in fact, KJ getting that red shirt, as we talked about a couple years ago, it's made all the difference in the world for him. You know, so I'm just super proud of where he is. And Justin, two great leaders. And Maskell, talked to him today and said, hey, man, you better be ready. And so, I know he'll accept that challenge. And then Miles Murphy has demonstrated since he got here that, he's ahead of the curve when it comes to where a true freshman normally is, football knowledge-wise, physically, all that stuff. So we got a good group. And then Greg Williams, if you saw him, I mean, he's completely transformed himself since last year. And then Reagan Upshaw is another guy that special teams type guy for us, but he's a third down type, get after the quarterback rush guy that hasn't had a lot of opportunity at this point, but could help us too.
Dabo, pretty cool shirt, but can we get back to the non-conference opponent? Do you know?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was it again?
First off, it's pretty cool shirt.
Okay.
I like your shirt, but that's the new shirt, right? But the non-conference opponent, do you know who it may be or who you may be looking at?
I think it's kind of up in the air between Akron and Citadel, I guess. The two that we already had. Like I said, I'm not involved in any of that. That's all up to Dan. I got enough on my plate. Just tell me who we're playing. But I do know we're going to play on the 19th. So we will play at home on the 19th, most likely against one of those teams, but I don't know who it is right now.
Hey, Coach David, again, with Travis Etienne at 199, did you kind of want him to lose a little bit of weight, or are you guys going to try and maybe add some pounds before that opener with him?
Well, I just think that was one of his goals, was to lean up a little bit and, come in at a spot where he is. And then some of it is a reflection too of, not being able to do some of the things that you do in the weight room typically for the whole summer, the amount of power cleans and those type of things. But one of his goals was to be a little leaner. He looked unbelievable today. I was over there with the running back doing the drill work, and he's fast and explosive and knowledgeable, and he's in a good place. I like where he's at, and he'll probably play somewhere between where he is and 5 or 6 pounds, but he's in a good spot.
Dabo, I'm guessing that Trevor must have looked pretty special again today at the start. How much have you seen him grow as a leader this offseason, his role with the parade a couple months ago, and just being a leader on a lot of fronts for your team?
Oh, he's just embraced every ounce of it, and that's what you want to see in your quarterback. I mean, not just be a leader offensively, but be a leader on the team. And everybody has such tremendous respect for him, and it's not because he's a great player. It's because of how he works. He doesn't ask anything of anyone that he's not willing to give. And not only does he give it, he goes way above and beyond. Trevor's one of those guys that you say, okay, hey, here's what's expected. And then he'll look at it and say, well, that's a nice suggestion, because he's going above and beyond. And that's what makes him special. I mean, yes, he's very talented, but he's got the character, the integrity, the drive, the will, the love of preparation that makes all the great ones great. And but he's been a tremendous leader since he got here. But he's just as he's gone through his journey and his career, just more and more confident.
Dabo, can you update us on Booth and also Goodrich, their health? Just are they fully healthy,
Yep.
good to go?
Oh yeah. Everybody's really, really good to go. Everybody, I think, like I said, we had to hold Frank and Joseph today. They were disappointed in that, but again, we got some protocols that we have to follow, and so I had to hold those two because they're roommates, and then so there's no injury or anything there from that standpoint. And then Ross, obviously, and then Xavier, but everybody's up and rolling. So really great to see. We've got maybe the best group of corners we've had since I've been the coach. As far as just length and speed, and now having some experience and the knowledge. I mean, it's a really, really functional depth. Really, really good group. But yeah, they're healthy and ready to roll, and all look great, man. I mean, it's a group that I think is going to be one of the real bright spots on this team this year.
And then
we'll take a couple more.
Walker Parks. Can you just maybe give a sort of an update on what he looks like, and you feel pretty good about his sort of what you saw when he showed up?
He just exactly what I thought. You know, he's just disappointed we couldn't be in pads today. That's just that's his mentality. He just wants to be in full pads every day, and is one of the most prepared guys you're ever going to meet. I mean, just loves every ounce of what it takes to be a great football player. Walker loves it. So he's one I'm really excited about getting the pads on and watching him in camp, and got a bright future with that whole group of offensive linemen for sure.
Dabo, I'm curious, when the numbers came out and you did have positive tests during this offseason, were you guys able to kind of trace that back to something in particular? And seeing the impact that it had on X, and is there sort of a message that you would have, not just for your own players, but kind of players in general who I think maybe at a certain age you kind of have a sense of invincibility, but knowing how kind of razor's edge this season seems to be on right now, is there sort of a message that you'd have for folks about taking this seriously?
Yeah, well, X actually got it before we got back in June. So he got it away from here. And so that was the first guy for us. But I think the biggest thing as far as tracing it back to one particular thing, all I can tell you is, you know, I tell you, our medical team and our COVID team, if you will, has done an amazing job, you know, as good as you can possibly do. And the environment that we have, we're very fortunate because we do have a lot of space. And so we've been blessed that way. So we've been able to mitigate meeting rooms and all these things. And Joey and his staff, and, you know, so thankful to our administration. They've done an amazing job, you know, from how things are sanitized. I think the biggest thing early on is kind of what you said. You know, these guys, when they first got back, they hadn't seen each other since March. And, you know, and it's really not the hour and a half or 2 hours that you have them. It's kind of the 22 that you don't. And at that time, you know, things are kind of opening up a little bit. And you're right. We tell our kids things all the time, but sometimes, you know, people can feel like they're invincible or whatever. But, you know, we had, I think guys caught on real quick, and they've just done a great job of really, since that time at the beginning, of really buying into what they need to do to protect themselves, to keep everyone safe. And, you know, I mean, the biggest thing I would say to, you know, any of the players out there is, you know, be honest and be very, very transparent. You know, this is not a time where, you know, you feel something or whatever, and you don't let somebody know. So just be honest, be transparent, and just follow the guidelines so that you can protect yourself and protect the others, and give yourself the best chance to play. We've got an unbelievable plan in place. And again, we have spent hours and hours and hours and hours, you know, with that. And so again, our leadership, the health experts, you know, I just kind of defer everything to them, and they've really done a great job of giving us a good plan, and our job's to execute it.
We'll take one more.
Coach, does your antenna go up though a little bit when you think about the student body returning from that standpoint, and you know, that bubble you're kind of insulated in now, when that kind of gets popped from that respect?
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly that's something that, you know, our administration and President Clements, who's been awesome, you know, they all have, and the health experts and all the DHEC and CDC and everybody here locally, you know, I just have to defer that to them. And, you know, my job, again, is to protect these guys and to make sure we have the best opportunity to get our football team ready in a safe way. And that's what I'm going to do. And again, those are things that I can't, you know, I don't have any control over. But I'm very confident in the people that we have here, that, you know, they will do a great job in having an excellent plan for our students, just like we have for our football team.
All right, that'll wrap us up tonight. We appreciate everybody bearing with us and joining us. Stay healthy, and we'll have a couple players for y'all tomorrow.
Virtual interview here, so good to see everybody, and y'all stay well. See you next time.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks.